Hello everyone and welcome to another New World video. My name's Brian if you happen to be new to the channel, but if you're a part of this incredible 16,642 of y'all, especially the 1,012 who've hit that subscribe button over the last month, welcome in and welcome back. I'm getting a lot of questions like this question from Rep Car, I'm probably butchering it, sorry Repcar, says, just in the native controller support waiting queue, really don't like the Steam controller setup, my back needs a break from my desk chair, lol. And I'd like to sit down and actually talk about controller support, what we can expect, what we're seeing from a development perspective in this game, and why it's important, because this isn't the only time we've been getting the controller support question. In fact, I get a lot of DMs like, hey, what's the status of controller support? So I thought I'd sit down today, answer this question, give you guys a little bit of hopium out there, but also talk about my new expectations for when we might see that and added into this video. But I know my intros can run a little long, but you can obviously tell if you haven't been to the channel in a while, I'm showing the face as just a pure as rather than just a pure gameplay focused approach. That's because I've been on a journey to lose over 100 pounds. I'm down 40 and you guys are celebrating it. If you guys don't like my long intros, just jump about 1 to 2 minutes into the video and you're going to be really good to go. But Pooh Pony our shoe says, I'm a New World player and I love the upbeat attitude and I can appreciate anyone who has 6 kids still finding time for themselves. Now, congrats on the weight loss, and I'm starting this winter when I get laid off due to the cold weather. Cheers, brother. So, guys, I'm very excited. Obviously, I feel really good. I still got quite a little bit of journey to go on, and we'll probably be providing updates in the videos, in this case, just a little bit. But before we dive into the main subject, I do have one favor to ask. I'm going to include a link to a friend's PayPal in the description. He is down bad right now, and unfortunately he has a mountain he has to climb up. He has to raise $1,500. I'm not asking for one of you guys to do $1,500, but if you do have $1 or $2 and you can PayPal him and you feel called to do so, please. His name's Mike. He's a part of this community. He's a great guy. He's working hard trying to take care of his kid, and life right now is just punching him. I've sent him some money. I'm tapped out on that money now, and I just can't make up that difference. I try to help people out when I can, and this is the only way I can kind of think about doing it. If you guys have the ability and you can and you feel called to, links in the description. Thank you guys so much. But on to the video. Like I said, just skip ahead for the outside of these long intros. Controller support is coming. This has been confirmed by Scott Lane. And when we say controller support, we're talking about native. The game works just with a controller. You don't have to do any of my weird setups. You don't have to download any Steam profiles, and I'm glad that the game does support the Steam profile approach. It has allowed me to play this game a lot. It allows me to play this game on my Logitech G Cloud, which is incredible for this game. I know a lot of people have been asking about the Steam Deck. I continue to run into different challenges with the Steam Deck itself, so just note that Logitech and GeForce Now, or Logitech to streaming the game from my PC, has been a premier experience, but it doesn't make it the most ideal experience, because one of the things that Steam controller support does not give us is state management. State management means it knows if I'm in a menu, it knows what menu I'm in, and you have to do a little bit of magic to try and get it to work right. And if anybody's been using my controller setups, you'll note that sometimes it bugs out, sometimes it thinks you're in a different state than you are, and that can end up causing some little light inconvenience, some minor headaches in that regards. But there is hope, because native is coming, and native, I think, is going to bring so much joy to this game. But I was thinking or hoping originally that this would be added with the expansion, and it's not. So what does that mean? How does that change my expectations for controller support? And honestly, it only makes them stronger. 6 months is a very tight turnaround for any of this, but ultimately, if they're going to continue to invest the time, the team that was working on the gear set storage system that came in the spring is the same team that's working on native controller support. What that means is that we're talking about a lot of interface options. And so then all of a sudden I start to kind of daydream about what Baldur's Gate 3 does in regards to where you pick up the controller and it actually has a completely different user interface. Now, I think the current user interface that New World has actually could work, but then just the fact that they're taking more time, adding in more systems, I do think that we're going to actually see something on, you know, it'll be interesting to see if how it rivals Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV is the Cadillac of the controller support game for MMORPGs currently. That's also a tab target game. This is an action game. You might push and say ESO's got it too, and you know what, I'll give you a point there. I don't play a lot of ESO, but when it comes down to this game specifically, I think it's going to excel with controller support. It's going to open up the game to many players, and it's going to open up the game to jumping on to console in the future. Now, I would expect that we'll see controller support roll in and more. Now, what's my new timeline, right? So if the team that delivered Gear Set Storage took over in the spring, and yet here we are 6 months later, not having it drop in the fall, I think obviously we're going to see this sometime on the roadmap for 2024. Now, I would like it as soon as it's ready. I would like to see them add that as soon as they can, because I think even if it comes and rolls into different stages, I think it would just be something great that we can then provide feedback on. But I think what you're going to be looking at as a minimum is going to be spring, or AKA season 5, 2024. So 6 months from now would be my minimum estimate guess. That would give them ultimately 12 months of work and refinement. Is that enough? It's like, that's a tight timeline. And that's one of the things that I wish that as a developer myself, I could really communicate to everybody. Like, sometimes our hopes, don't align with just the sheer amount of work that actually has to go in, because there's all these other things, these things that we just don't natively consider. But that all being said, I would say anywhere from season 5, spring 2024, to most reasonably we'd be talking about the next expansion, which again, I still feel that there is another expansion coming in 2024, and we're going to see that being kind of the yearly model for this game going forward. It's going to be an exciting time. Now, the final thing I would like to share is that as the game is updated with the Rise of the Angry Earth, I will be putting out an updated controller guide to take advantage of all the new things that have been added. And for some reason, my voice is failing, but that's going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time. I would expect an updated guide from me, an updated setup for me sometime around early November. I want to make sure that I can put enough time into it, make it as good as it can be. But the current one still works, but some key binding things are going to be a little messed up. So I might try to rush out something as a interim. I was trying to do something on the PTR, but it ended up just not working right. And then essentially building from there. So guys, if you, using the Steam controller support setup or more, note that will be coming in the near future. We had some issues this year alone as Steam kind of really migrated everything into its Steam Deck Linux operating system that runs the big picture mode. But some of those bugs have been worked out, and I'm finding that it's working a little bit more consistently to how I want it to be in the long run. But I'll keep you guys up to date. So controller support's coming. I would estimate that we're going to be, like, from the time of this recording, 6 months to a year before it fully makes its way into the game. But who knows? We could always be surprised, and I'd love to be wrong. I always love it when if my timelines are further out and it delivers sooner. But that's essentially where I would weigh it in terms of its delivery as a 12 to 18 month project for this game. The beautiful thing about this is that this work is going to benefit the Lord of the Rings online, whatever they're going to call the their next MMO that's probably going to be out in 5 to 7 years, which happens to coincidentally align with their 10-year plan for New World. Who knows? We'll see. I'll be sure to let you guys know. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Continue. I love thanks for the positive comments. I'll keep you guys up to date. I do apologize for the long ass intros, but there's other content creators out there that you can go watch and support if those annoy you. I'm not going to be offended. I'm glad you're here, but don't feel pressured to be here. Like, enjoy the content, enjoy your day, enjoy your life. I'm going to keep making videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, but until then, take care.